Ladders have been used for thousands of years, and improper use of ladders continues to be a significant source of injury in both the workplace and our homes. Each year in Alberta, close to 1,000 reported workplace injuries can be attributed to ladder falls. A handful of these injuries have resulted in fatalities due to the severity of the fall. It's an alarming fact requiring education and training of workers and homeowners before it can be brought under control. Some common hazards associated with the use of ladders include slips, trips and falls, ladder tip over, electric shock, ladder defects due to damage, ladder failure from overloading, and improper setup and use. In order to understand the risks associated with using ladders, it is necessary to be able to identify the different types of ladders, their appropriate uses, and how to adequately inspect them. Consider the ladder height required to safely perform your task. Recognizing that different ladders have different applications, choosing the right ladder for the job is an integral part of ladder safety. Another issue to consider is your body weight and the additional tools you may have securely attached to your tool belt. All ladders should clearly identify the maximum load they can carry. There are a number of different types of ladders you may encounter on a job site. They come in a variety of designs for different purposes and applications. They are manufactured from a variety of materials, including wood, fiberglass, or metal. Whenever working around energized sources, metal or aluminum ladders should never be used. Instead, ladders constructed of non-conductive materials should be utilized. Electrical sources not only pose a higher risk of shock if direct contact is made between a ladder and a source, but also increase the chance of electrical arcing as well. It is critical to understand that all ladders must meet OH&S, CSA, or ANSI standards before they are allowed on a job site. All ladders need to be inspected before each use for any defects. When performing a pre-use inspection, the following items must be considered. Look for damaged side rails, rungs, and supports. Look for bent or corroded metal, cracks, warping, and malformations. Check the rungs and steps to see if they are loose, missing, or broken. Confirm that the spreaders and locking devices are correct and operational. Make sure rungs and feet are non-slip, and ensure that nuts and bolts are tight with the feet secured. In all cases, if the ladder is damaged, tag and remove it from service immediately. If you encounter a painted wooden ladder, it must be taken out of service and not used. Paint can disguise and hide cracks, making it difficult to properly assess the condition of the ladder. Step ladders are frequently used and common on most sites. When you follow some simple practices, the chances of injury to yourself or a coworker can be greatly reduced. When setting up a stepladder, open the legs fully, ensure spreader bars are locked, and check its stability with a rocking motion to ensure all 4 legs are on firm and level ground. When climbing up or down a stepladder, always face the ladder. Unless otherwise stated by the manufacturer's specifications, never work from the top 2 rungs of a stepladder. Whenever possible, consider having another worker hold the base to further stabilize the ladder. Never use a stepladder for uses it was neither intended nor designed for, such as a brace or to support a work platform or plank. Extension ladders pose several issues that must be taken into consideration when being used. Their height and the fact that they rely on another object for support at both their base and their extended resting point. When erecting an extension ladder, always ensure secure footing and slip-resistant feet. Follow the 4-to-1 ratio. For every 4 feet of vertical height, place the base out horizontally at least 1 foot. You must extend the resting point of the ladder at least 1 meter above the landing platform for safe access and egress. Before climbing the ladder, the locking ladder hooks must be engaged and secured with the proper amount of overlap in place for each ladder section, as per manufacturer's specification and the OH&S code. It is considered a safe practice to secure the base of a ladder. Extension ladders must be secured at the top to prevent the ladder from slipping or being blown over. When an extension ladder is not secured at the top, another worker must hold it in place while being used or until it is secured. Scaffold ladders are often misused by working off of them. These ladders are designed for ascending to or descending from working platforms only. Never work from them, and always keep access to them clear of tools or debris at both top and bottom. When working from a ladder at a height greater than 3 meters, it is legislated through Alberta Occupational Health and Safety that personal fall protection must be used. In situations where the use of fall protection is not reasonably practical, an exemption may be made if the work is a light-duty task of short duration at each location. The worker's center of balance is at the center of the ladder at all times, even with an arm extended beyond the side rails of the ladder, and the worker maintains 3-point contact whenever the worker extends an arm beyond a side rail. Regardless of ladder type, maintaining 3-point contact is a requirement at all times. As we have 2 hands and 2 feet, 3 of these appendages should be in contact with the ladder at all times. Never rush, and always be cognizant of the 3-point contact rule whenever on a ladder. As for most tasks on a job site, using ladders also requires proper personal protective equipment, which is often overlooked. Having the proper work boots with a good grip and heel can become the difference in maintaining traction or slipping and falling. The following best practices will help prevent fall hazards associated with ladder use in high traffic or obscured areas such as a doorway. Never allow anyone to work or walk underneath a ladder. Always set up a barricade in these areas. Or when necessary, use personnel to direct traffic away from the ladder. When using any ladder, it is important to recognize and abide by the appropriate load ratings and never overload the ladder. The following simple guidelines will help prevent ladder overload. Only stand one person at a time on a ladder. Never carry items up a ladder. Use tools specifically designed to raise loads instead of carrying them. Know the ladder's load limits and follow them. At times, the length of a ladder or working in tighter or congested areas may constitute the requirement of having additional people carry and erect the ladder. When ladders are not in use, they require proper storage to ensure they are not damaged due to unnecessary strain or exposure to the elements. Wood ladders should be stored in a dry, well-ventilated area. It is a best practice to store all ladders horizontally and not have anything stacked upon them which could compromise their structural integrity. Ladders stored vertically must be secured to prevent toppling. Whenever ladders cannot be used safely, there are always other options available. When erected and maintained by trained and competent personnel, scaffolds provide a viable option for long-term use and provide a good work platform. For those properly trained and competent in their use, elevated work platforms such as scissor lifts or boom lifts also offer a reasonable option other than ladders. As with ladder use, these options also come with their own inherent risks and must always have those potential hazards evaluated. While ladders are a common tool in our everyday lives, their safe use requires the user to possess the knowledge of inspection, selection, and demonstrate the proper safe use of ladders. Utilizing this knowledge will help ensure that ladder safety is taken to new heights, both in the workplace and our homes.